Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you so much. I'm a journalist. My job is to take two people from all walks of life all over the world. Today, I want to tell you why I decided to do this with my life and what I've learned. My story begins in Caracas, Venezuela, in South America, where I grew up, a place that to me was and always will be filled with magic and wonder. From a very young age, my parents wanted me to have a wider view of the world. I remember one time when I was around 7 years old, my dad came up to me and said, "Manhiana, I'm going to send you and your little sister, who was 6 at the time, to a place where nobody speaks Spanish. I want you to experience different cultures." He went on and on about the benefit of spending an entire summer in this summer camp in the United States, stressing a little phrase that I didn't pay too much attention to at the time. You never know what the future holds. Meanwhile, in my 7 years old mind, I was thinking we were going to get to summer camp in Miami. Maybe it was going to be even better. And we were going to go a little further north to Orlando, where Mickey Mouse lives. I got really excited. My dad, however, had a slightly different plan. From Caracas, his son used to Brainerd, Minnesota. Mickey Mouse was not up there, and with no cell phone, no Snapchat or Instagram, I couldn't look up any information. We got there, and the first thing I noticed was that the other kids' hair was several shades of blue, and most of them had blue eyes. Meanwhile, this is what we looked at like the first night. The camp director gathered everyone around the campfire and said, "Kids, we have a very international camp this year. The attendees are there from Venezuela." The other kids looked at us as if we were from another planet. They would ask us things like, "Do you know what a hamburger is?" Or, "Do you go to school on donkey or a sanui?" Although I would try to answer in my broken English, and they would just like, I know they were not trying to be mean. They were just trying to understand who we were and make a correlation with the word they know. We could either be like them or like characters out of a book full of adventure, like Aladdin of the Jungle Book. We certainly didn't look like them. We didn't speak their language. We were different. when you're 7 years old. That's hard, but I had my little sister to take care of, and she cried every day at summer camp. So I decided to put on brave face and embrace everything I could about the American way of life. We later did what we called the summer camp experiment. For 8 years in different cities that many Americans haven't even heard of. What I remember most about this moment was when I finally clicked with someone. Making a friend was a special reward. Everybody wants to feel valued and accepted, and we think it's so happen spontaneously, but it doesn't. When you're different, you have to work at belonging. You have to be either really helpful, smart, and funny. Anything to be cool for the crowd you want to hang out with. Later on, when I was in high school, my dad expanded on the summer plan, and from Caracas he sent me to Wallingford, Connecticut for the senior year of high school. This time, I remember daydreaming on the plane about the American high school experience with Oracle. It was going to be perfect, just like in my favorite TV show, Saved by the Bell. I get there, and they tell me that my assigned remote is eagerly waiting. I opened the door, and there she was, sitting on the bed with a headscarf. Her name was Fatima, and she was Muslim from Bahrain. And she was not what I expected. She probably sensed my disappointment when I looked at her, because I didn't do too much to hate it. See, as a teenager, I wanted to fit in even more. I want to be popular, maybe have a boyfriend from prom. And I felt that Fatima just got in the way with her shyness and her strict dress code. I didn't realize that I was making her feel like the kids at summer camp made me feel. This was the high school equivalent of asking her, "Do you know what a hamburger is?" I was consumed by my own selfishness and unable to put myself in her shoes. I have to be honest with you. We only lasted a couple of months together because she was later sent to live with a counselor instead of the student. I remember thinking, she'll be okay. She's just different. You see, when we label someone as different, it's dehumanizes them in a way. They become the other. They are not worthy of our time, not our problem. And fact, the other, are probably the cause of our problem. So, how do we recognize our blind spots? It begins by understanding what makes you different. By embracing those traits, only then can you begin to appreciate what makes others special. I remember when this hit me, it was a couple months after that. I had found that boyfriend for prom, met a group of friends, and practically forgotten about Fatima. Until everybody signed on to participate in this talent show for charity. You needed to our talent for auction. It seemed like everybody had something special to offer. Some kids were going to play the violin, others were going to recite a theater monologue. And I remember thinking, we don't practice talent like that's back home. But I was determined to find something of following the day of the talent show comes. And I get up on stage with my little boombox and in put it on the set in praise play, and a song by my favorite emerging artist Shakira comes up, and I go wherever we're meant to be together. And I said, my name is Maria, and I'm going to action a dance class. It seems like the whole school reset their hand to be. My dance class really stood out from like the 10th violin class ever that day. Going back to my dorm room, I didn't feel different. I feel really special. That's when I started thinking about Fatima, a person that I had failed to see as special when I first meet her. She was she was from the Middle East, just like Shakira's family was from the Middle East. She could have probably took me a thinking hour too about belly dancing had I been open to it. Now, I want you all to take that sticker. That's why given to you at the beginning of our session today. Where you were done with that what makes you special, and I want you to look at it. If you are watching at home, take a piece of paper and write down what makes you different. You may feel grateful when you look at it. Maybe even a little ashamed, maybe even proud. But you know that you need to begin to embrace it. Remember, it is the first step in appraising what makes others special. When I went back home to Venezuela, I began to understand how these experiences were changing me. Being able to speak different language, to navigate all these different people and places, it gave me unique sensibility. I was finally beginning to understand the importance of fitting myself in other people's shoes. That is a big part of the reason why I decided to become a journalist, especially being from a part of the world that is often labeled the backyard, the illegal aliens, George Ward, the other. I wanted to do something to change that. It was right around the time, however, when the Venezuela government shut down the biggest television station in our country. Censorship was growing, and my dad came up to me on scan and said, "How are you going to be a journalist here? You have to leave." That's when it hit me. That's what he had been preparing me for. That is what the future had for me. So, in 2008, I packed up my bags and I came to the United States without a return ticket this time. I was painfully aware that at 24 years old, I was becoming a refugee of sorts and immigrant the other. Once again, and now for good, I was about to come on a scholarship to study journalism. I remember gave me my first assignment to cover the historic election of President Barack Obama. I felt so hopeful. I was like, yes, this is it. I've come to post-racial America, where the notion of use and then is being eroded and will probably be eradicated in my lifetime. But why as one right? Why didn't Barack Obama's presidency alleviate racial tensions in our country? Why do some people still feel threatened by immigrant, LGBTQ, and minority groups who are just trying to find a space in this United States that should be from all of use? I didn't have the answer back then, but on November 8, 2016, when Donald Trump became our president, it became clear that a large part of the electorate system as the others. Some see people coming to take their jobs, or potential terrorists who speak a different language. Meanwhile, minority groups oftentimes see hatred, intolerances, and moral mindedness on the other side. It's like we are stuck in these bubbles that nobody wants to burst. The only way to do it, the only way to get out of it, is to realize that being different also means thinking differently. It takes charm to show respect. In the words of Voltaire, I might not agree with what you have to say, but I will fight to the deed to defend your right to say it. Failing to see anything good on the other side makes a dialogue impossible. Without a dialogue, we will keep repeating the same mistake because we will not learn anything new. I covered the 2016 election for NBC News. It was my first big assignment in this mainstream network, where I helped crossed over from Spanish television, and I wanted to do something different. I watched election results with undocumented families. Few thought of sharing that moment with people who weren't citizens, but actually stood the most to lose that night. When I became afraid that Donald Trump was winning, this 8-year-old girl named Angelina reached up to me in tears. She shouted and she asked me if her mom was going to deport now. I hugged her back and said, it's going to be okay, but I really didn't know this one. The photo we took that night forever ingrained in my heart. Here was teen little girl who was around the same age I was when I went to camp in Spain. She already knows she is the other. She walked home from school in fear every day that her mom can be taken away. So, how do we put ourselves in Angelina's shoes? How do we make her understand she is special and not simple, unworthy of having her family together? By giving camera time to her and families like hers, I tried to make people see them as human beings and not simple illegal aliens. Yes, they broke the law, and they should pay a penalty for it, but they've also given everything for this country. Like many other immigrants before them have, every day took you have my path to personal growth straight to end. I won't tell you how it the words went in the Ujian, one that took me to by free car. The day, April 10th, 2014. I was driving to the studio and I got a call from my parents. Are you on the air? They asked. And immediately knew something was wrong. What happened? I said, it's your sister. She's been in a car accident. It was as if my heart stopped. My hands gripped the steering wheel, and I remember hearing the words, it is unlikely she will ever walk again. They say your life can change in a split second. Men did at that moment. My sister went from being my successful other half, only a year apart in age, to not being able to move her legs, sit up, or get dressed by herself. This once like summer camp, where I could magically make it better. This was triumphing throughout the course of 2 years. My sister underwent 15 surgeries, and she spent the most of the time in a wheelchair. But that wasn't even the worst of it. There was something so painful. It's hard to put into words. Even now, with this deep way people look at it here. Look at youth, young people were unable to see successful lawyer or a millennial with a sharp wit and a keen heart. Everywhere we went, I realized that people just saw a poor girl in a wheelchair. They were unable to see anything beyond that. After fighting like a warrior, I can thankfully tell you that today my sister is working and has recovered beyond expectation. Thank you. But during that traumatic ordeal, I learned there are differences that basically sucks, and it's hard to feel positive in them. My sister not better off because of what happened, but she told me you cannot let those differences define you. Being able to reimagine yourself beyond what other people see. That is the toughest task for all, but is also the most beautiful. You see, we all come to this world in body. People with physical or neurological difficulties, environmentally impacted communities, immigrant boys, boys who want to dress as girls with veils, women who have been sexually exploited, athletes who bend their knee as a sign of protest, Black, white, Asian, Native American, my sister, you are me. We all want what everyone wants, to dream and to achieve, but sometimes socially tell us and we tell ourselves we don't feel the moon. Well, if you look at my story from being born somehow different to belly dancing in high school, to telling stories you don't normally see on TV. What makes me different is what has made me stand out and be successful. I have traveled the world and talked to people from all walks of life. You know what I've learned? The single thing every one of you has in common is being human. So take a stand to defend your race, the human race. Let's appeal to it. Let's be humanities before and later everything else. To end, I want you to take that sticker, that piece of paper where you wrote "Don't wait makes you different," and I want to celebrate it today and every day. So it from the rooftops. I also encourage you to be courageous in acts. What is on other people's pieces of paper? What makes them different? Let's celebrate those imperfection that make you special. I hope that it teaches you that nobody has a claim on the word normal. We are all different. We are all quirky and unique. And that is what makes us wonderfully human. Thank you so much.